Start the morning with coffee in your cup. Time to hang out with friends and chat it up. Bring a smile and good luck. Hit that like button and let's chat it up. Good times start with us, you and me. Good morning, welcome to the morning coffee show. Let's start the morning with coffee in your cup. Time to hang out with friends and chat it up. Bring a smile and good luck. Hit that like button and let's chat it up. Good times start with us, you and me. Good morning, welcome to the morning coffee show. Let's talk from in the shell and share good vibes and good times. Good friends and trends that bend the senses. Let's get a bit senseless. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we bring good vibes and good times. Welcome to the morning coffee show with Super Fast Tortoise. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we have the flow. Good vibes from head to toe. Let the happiness take you in.
Oh no, hello. Hey everybody, welcome to the Super Fast Tortoise show. Welcome to the
Good morning.
Good morning. Let's get you awake, get those vibes going. It's that beginning of the week vibe. You know, we got to get past the Mondays, you know.
Oh, yeah.
The Mondays. So let's get into the good feeling. We got kjcowboydan. He's not.
Hey, howdy, hey.
Yeah, you're just the OBS logo today.
Oh,
Yep.
What? It's not coming up?
Nope. And I take that fault.
Was
It's
too
all my
busy
fault.
doing things. I was too busy Googling. You know how I love to Google.
That's
Yeah,
right.
and I was giving yourself to. Yeah, and I was giving yourself to Google, so you know it's my.
You were giving me
I'm
hard
sorry.
stuff to Google. You were giving me hard stuff to Google. You were giving me a challenge. That's even I was able to stump Google, I guess.
Yes. Then we got Lone Wolf.
What's up, everyone?
What's up? Good morning, Lone Wolf. And we got debuting on the stream today. His first time on the show. Maybe not the last time, but you know, whenever he can, he'll jump in. We got Scuba Chew.
What's going on, everybody? This is the first time that I get to say this in live and not in chat. What's up, pimps?
What's up, pimps, daddies, and all that jazz? Like, you know, when you say that, I always like my brain wants to refer to the band just behooves me.
I don't know the band.
You should know the band.
The band just behooves me. It sounds like a good band, though. Might be metal.
Right.
Well, there is a band called Who.
Yeah, Limp Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. They're like, you're like, hello, pimp daddies, and all that jazz. Oh,
I'm in the wrong screen now.
woo. That's right.
I'm just all over the place today.
This is KJ's brain just waking up. That's what you're seeing. I hope you guys got your hot coffee, your libation of choice. Ooh. You know?
Indeed. Oh, everything's all messed up today.
Oh, yeah. So I hope you guys had a good weekend.
Yeah, a pretty good weekend.
Pretty good. I mean, what was it? Saturday, KJ and I were chilling out for a couple hours playing with Suno.
Yeah.
We're supposed to finish that today. Do more today. Yeah.
Sometime after 3:00 today, we're going to be doing a little Suno jam session.
Yeah. Cool. And Scooby Choo and KJ did a little Suno session, you know.
Oh yeah, those are always fun. Create some good bangers.
Oh yeah.
We actually just started our Spotify channels, so you can actually catch some of the Suno songs that we make on Spotify.
Cool.
That's pretty cool.
I got to thoroughcraft some new decks with with Edge of Eternities.
Oh, theory craft. This is where he's theorizing his craft.
Exactly.
Then Lone Wolf went on a 4K or 10K marathon this weekend.
If you count that going to my mailbox and back, sure.
That's right. That's right. Just trying to make you sound like you're more productive than the weekend really was.
Well, I was productive, just not that productive.
Oh, all right. That's funny. That's funny. So today's topic is preparing for the MTG Commander deck building. A lot of words really just kind of smashed together. Almost makes no sense when you read it out loud.
Well, you do when you build a commander deck, you do have to prepare for it, so it does make sense.
Like you got to prepare for the meta. And the problem with the meta is there's not really a solid meta in Commander. Yes, I'm saying meta differently on purpose. Yeah, because like I don't know if you watched my last MTG3 video out there in the chat land and everything. If you didn't watch my last MTG3 video, I actually had a conversation about land destruction being important in Commander. Land destruction is a salty topic. Like no one likes land destruction. No one likes it. They are afraid of it. They're afraid they're going to get all their lands blown up. Then the point of the video was not to say destroy all your opponent's land, and that's okay. But the point of the video is there's lands out there that need to be destroyed because you can't really deal with them if you don't have land destruction.
I mean, I agree with that, but I also disagree with that.
All right. Well, let's hear your disagreement.
The alternate to the board wipe scenario.
I mean, I don't like I don't like board wipes. I don't like land destruction either, because I'm trying to cast a 5-cost spell. I get one land board took off the board. Now I got to help and hope get that other land.
Bro, what if you play a land that could win you the game?
Then yeah, I'm all for that.
Right?
But
like here's a real life example. Last week, last Friday, I was playing a game, and if I didn't have land destruction, the game would have been at a draw and no one would have won.
Right.
Right?
I mean, yeah, it's legal. It's part of Magic. I understand that and everything. But I do want to play. I feel like I can't play if I have no lands. I even get like it when I don't even get lands on my dang arena game.
Well, the funny part is I even just mentioned before you disagreed in that terminology that the conversation about land destruction wasn't about destroying all your opponent's lands, more like destroying utility lands. Like if you play Rogue's Passage and if I have the capability, I'm going to destroy it.
I mean, I could understand that.
Right. I don't want your big 2020 being unblockable.
Yeah. Now that I could understand.
Right. So the point of the land destruction conversation was saying there's lands out there you got to answer. And like people got to be less salty about land destruction because they're just as powerful or sometimes in some cases more powerful than spells.
Yep.
Because you can't counter a land, from being played. I mean, you can counter an activation land with like Void Slime. Yeah, Void Slime's a card. You could counter an activation like funny interaction. You have a fetch land on the battlefield. You tap it, sacrifice it. I Void Slime that. Say counter target activated ability. You lost your land. You don't get a search for a land.
Yeah. Oh man, they got this card that I love, a blue card that I love. It's rotating out called Defabricate. I'll wait till my opponent try to sack a Fable Passage or one of those other lands. Defabricate it.
Yeah.
They sack it, but they don't get their land.
Right.
You know they get salty. You know that other person on the other side to get salty about that. I've done that several times.
That's right.
On arena. Too bad it's rotating out into historic at the end of the month here.
TCG says we talking about land destruction. We're introducing the topic with land destruction because, well, first of all, great video on my part. Not to pat my own shoulder there. I just think land destruction needs to be discussed, just like the bracket system, tiering your decks up and whatnot, and trying to have fair games. Land destruction needs to be discussed because, you know, it's not really the boogeyman that people give it. Like, some people have land destruction in the deck, but some people are not just out there to destroy all your lands. Now, for those people who are out there just to destroy your lands, you suck.
Mm-hmm.
And trust me, I'll be one of those people one day. I guarantee it. But like I wouldn't destroy your lands if I didn't have a win condition. That's like I treat it like Cyclonic Rift in those games where you cast Cyclonic Rift with the winning condition ready to go.
Now, I'm okay with, you know, land destruction in that point of view, but to destroy all my lands, that's where I don't like it.
That's the saltiness there. There's a lot of bitter and salty feelings about land destruction.
Oh yeah.
But I bring up land destruction not to focus on land destruction, but having a few land destruction spells in your deck is good to have for the meta because you never know when someone's going to play like Mistrized Village, the one that makes your spells uncounterable, or when you're playing a tribal typal deck, some plays Cavernous Souls that makes all their creatures uncounterable. You need to answer that.
Yep.
Keswick Wolf Run, a little sleeper card that used to be like Super Banger back in the day, which is Super Banger till today. If people forget that exists, and you can give all your creatures plus X plus 0 and trample or haste, one of the two. Ooh. Yeah, it's pretty good when you can give a creature trample and plus X plus 0. And these are things you got to think about when you're building your deck. You just don't know what. Like, one land that can fit in any deck that people play is Glacial Chasm. It's a colorless card, a colorless land, like it taps for colors. Hello, the Real Wiz. What's up? You can tap for I don't know if it actually taps for colors, but basically at the beginning of your upkeep, you pay 2, and it prevents all combat damage that can be dealt to you, and it's a land.
Wow.
It's a game changer. Like Field of Rune's a game changer.
Yeah.
And if really quick, and if you don't have answers for those lands, you're gonna have a painful game of just sitting there watching your opponents win the game.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, KJ.
Oh, I just was saying thank you to my roommate who brought me a top off of my coffee.
Ooh, topped off the top.
You know, Scoob has a lot of experience in building decks for his TCG.
Oh yeah, Scooby Dooby Choo, how are you? Playing a TCG, dude.
Hey, Manamog, how you doing out there in chat land?
Manamog.
Yeah, with the TCG that Scoob plays on a regular basis, same one that Jesse plays. From what I understand, don't you have like the most decks built of your circle?
Probably. If not, then I have the most based off of a theme.
Mm-hmm. Themed decks. That's kind of like Lorcana, not comparing the two. Because Lorcana, they're themed decks, and they have to, like, unlike Magic, you can't just build like 3, 4, 5 color decks. You have to build 2 color decks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think you can build a 1 color deck, but I think the most you can go is 2.
Although I know a lot of Magic people who's building their decks based off of their themes. I know that people are like doing their dragon decks, and like when we do finally get my deck built in something other than Moxfield, my deck's going to be Severed Heads.
Severed Heads. Because you want to be a head above the rest. The Real Wiz has a question for everyone. How do you keep focused on one thing with your show? Mine always goes into things I find distasteful on the world. I got a strike and hushed for a week for posting something. Well, first of all, there's a lot of self-control in there.
I don't know any of that, as you can tell by the morning show.
There's a lot of self-control. We ignore for the most part the negativity that some people will bring into the show, and we don't put a focus on something because we know for the fact that the show is about entertainment, not about thought processes. It's not about political correctness. It's not about political agendas. It's about keeping focus on a topic to teach. And as long as your main goal is to teach, learn, or ask questions, you're usually pretty good. If you go past that and get into your own personal life and you dive into your personal life, it probably means you need to sit back and think about your thought process before you start a show.
Correct. I couldn't have said it no better myself.
Mm. And that's not a diss or dog on you. That's just like there's a lot of thought process goes in the show. Like every day when I do a show, I make up a topic kind of on the fly, but I write a monologue type thing or a description to kind of get my thoughts in focus. Mm-hmm. And since the most relevant recent video I did was on land destruction, that's how we started on land destruction. You know, my next step was to get into removal. Talk about removal, like creature removal, artifact removal. You know, so there's removal. Land destruction is this form of removal, but you got other removals like enchantment removal, which is important. Artifact removal, which is going to be way important in standard, and you're gonna have counter spells to creature removal as well. Yeah, Scuba Chew.
What's up?
Here's a question for you. Now I know locale's not exactly magic, but it's kind of like magic. You know, you got your lands, which are your cassettes.
Yep.
And when you build a deck, is there removal for cards in the game that you play?
Is there removal? Well, what exactly do you mean by removal? Like cards that I would want to take out?
No. Okay. That's a good question because there might be people out there who don't know what this is. So that's a good question. Removal is having a card in hand that can remove a permanent, like a creature, an artifact, or whatever is in locale, like a hero or whatever.
Yep.
From the game. It could put it in the graveyard or it could exile it from the game itself. Something that removes it from the game board state.
The already played tiles. They already played cards.
Okay, so yeah, in locale there are definitely not a lot of cards that are like that, and for the ones that we do have, they're very specific. So it would be you have to control a certain thing in order to even play it, type deal.
Right.
And so we have it split between locales and scribes. I would say right now, maybe each side has 2 cards within the whole 200 set or whatever.
Right.
So it's not really a big mechanic that we use, but it is there and it's very specific.
No, that makes sense. See, in Magic, the game's been around for 30 years. So there's plenty of removal spells, plenty of board wipes, plenty of land destruction, plenty of all these different card types out there from set to set to set. You know, 30 years, there's got to be a lot, especially in the Commander format and legacy style sets like Modern and whatnot. You know,
yeah.
But like, so in your decks, since there's only a couple out there, do you actually play these removal spells?
Yeah, I try to run them as much as I can, and there's only, I think, one that is on our restricted list, which we can't run more than 1 copy.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I usually try to run all 3 copies that were allowed of them.
Yeah, and that makes sense. It's the kind of good thing about removal is it kind of pushes you into facing the meta, especially when you have like a removal spell that can target about everything. Like in Magic the Gathering, there are a few spells out there that can target any permanent, right? Any permanent from a creature, planeswalker, whatnot. Usually it's a non-land permanent, like they don't want you targeting a land with it, and that's most of the cases, not all the cases, but like that kind of pushes the meta because you never know what you're going to deal with when you're playing a game.
Right.
You know,
The real Wiz has pointed out a couple of cards that are must-haves in his opinion for your decks. He says y'all got Marty as a card.
Yep, we have Music Biz Marty. He gains Immortal if we have other trolls on the field, I believe. So he's actually a pretty good card. And rest in peace, Music Biz Marty.
Mm.
And then he says, feels like he's a must-have since the game has Cyrex.
Oh no, the biggest main is definitely Christian, our CWC goddess. Oh my goodness, that meta is powerful. All those Sonichu tokens. I mean, look at the character that I'm based off of.
Nice.
You do realize saying that word is going to make Jessie mad, and she is in chat right now lurking.
Oh, that's okay. Jesse knows I love her.
The real Wiz says, I learned most of my Magic deck building from HILLBILLY and Tibalt. I can still consider myself a novice Magic player, but I can still build and play Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah. You don't learn, especially when you play more of the standard formats. I get it.
Yep.
So I do a lot more on Commander, and I used to do a lot more on Limited. But Commander is like the main set, so that's why I kind of focus on Commander. So when I love playing it, I love the game. I loved Commander before Commander was like huge. Commander didn't explode to its level of popularity until 2020 for obvious in-house reasons. And that's when TCG games, board games, and other things like that got very popular. People were kind of stuck with the only option, playing in the house. And he laughs. So one thing that's transferable between games, like card games and everything, and one of the most important things I stress to most players, like even when playing Lorcana, I try to stress to my wife and everything that one of the most important things in the game is card draw or card advantage or whatever you may call it in your game, where you get more cards into your hand. Skibchu, is there cards in Lorcana that let you draw cards?
Locale.
Yeah, in Local, there
Yeah,
are.
that's what I meant.
Yeah, there's a lot of cards that have a draw ability.
Right? It makes the game work more effective, have tempo, and helps you get to the cards you want to play faster.
Oh yeah. It's great to help. There's even some that allow you to help stack your deck too. So
right,
those are really fun to play with.
yes, because one of the most important things to think about when building a deck, right? Well, one of the most important things about building a deck in any game you can possible, any from Lorcana, Locale to One Piece and whatnot, any card game, there is a set of rules that you have to follow for gameplay instructions. The one thing you got to remember and put into hardcore memory is playing the cards you do and choosing the cards in your deck is about breaking and bending those rules with the legality of the cards available.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I would say the biggest problem is probably RTFC. Do y'all know what that stands for?
Not exactly.
Read the blank card.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, we've heard that many times. And yeah, there's been a couple times I faltered with reading the card correct. Because sometimes you read the card and you like skip over a word. Like I had a card I thought put a instant sorcery card from my graveyard to my hand, but really put on top of the library. Someone's like, no, that's not exactly how it works. It goes to the top of your library, not your hand. I'm like, okay, thank you. My brain read that too fast or something. But you know what they say, reading the card explains the card.
Yeah, we've had a lot of instances where that's happened, and we're actually getting a RTFC card made that we can actually use in Locale because it was such a big occurrence.
Right.
Well, they say we are card players. You know, we played a card game. You're not supposed to read the card. You're supposed to play the card.
You're supposed to just
Reading is too hard to do if you play cards.
Well, that's kind of the problem with Arena. Like
Yep.
for new players who want to go get into the physical media of Magic, is the Arena automatically plays the cards for you, so you don't have to read it. It follows the triggers and activations based on what's on the board. In fact, one of my biggest complaints for new players entering the game through Arena is when the card hits the battlefield after you read it, it shrinks down and hides the text.
Yep.
You know, so you have to play a memory game, and that's kind of hard. That's kind of a lot to ask for a new player to play this memory game. Oh, I got this creature when deals combat damage, draw a card. Right, that text is hidden. You forget about it. You don't attack with it. You know.
I
you
have
can't-
noticed. Oh, sorry.
You can scroll over the cards on Arena to see the cards, at least now.
Yeah. I have noticed with a lot of Magic players, because as I was learning a little bit of the gameplay when I joined your circle, I as everybody knows, I'm more interested in collecting this the oddity cards and whatnot, that, you know, rather than building a legitimate deck and playing the game. I like the art, so it's a good collectible for me. But and like the same with the local TCG, and like my playable game was Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day. But when I'm one of those people, when learning how to play a game, I want to know, A, what's the objective? B, how do I do it? And what are the rules on that particular mechanic or card? And when dealing with a lot of the Magic crew, there's two types. There are you just got to play it and learn it, or read the card. And I'm like, okay, I am reading the card, but some of these things, when they don't tell you what that little arrow means to tap, and you're like, oh, okay, you're supposed to tap it. What does that mean? You know, and they're like, well, you're tapping it. And I'm like, okay, but how do I play it on the field? And from what I'm told, Magic used to have an instructional thing when you bought a starter deck, and they don't do that anymore. And so
on paper they kind of do, but not what they used to do.
So like it makes it hard, like that kind of thought process makes it hard. So like they have Arena, and then people are like telling me play Arena. So I played a little bit of Arena, and like the game will make it so that way you can either play it or not play it, because it's already, like you said, already in the programming. So you're not going to really learn what the mechanics are about and how to do it until you've actively played it physically. And being one of those guys that I am, one of those why and how guys, I tend to annoy the people who's trying to teach me a game, because it's like they've been playing for 30 years, all their TCGs, and only game I have experience at playing is Yu-Gi-Oh. And while there are some game mechanics in Magic that match Yu-Gi-Oh, there are more game mechanics in Magic than there are in Yu-Gi-Oh, to be honest.
Right. Well, the biggest problem I want to interject with Magic is they want to sell you these fancy cards. Fancy cards. They have cool borders, cool art, they look sick, and it comes in a set with a brand new freaking mechanic, right? Brand new. Like it could be called Voidwalk. And on a regular card, you'll have Voidwalk, the text explaining Voidwalk, right? And Voidwalk could be like if your opponent controls a colorless tapping land, it can't be blocked. On the cool fancy art, they take away the text. And I'm like, that's stupid. They just say Voidwalk, they don't explain the card. So that's a problem with a lot of Magic when it comes to the fancy with the cards, is when you want the fancy card, you got to play the memory game once again. As Hillbilly's looking down.
Yep. I mean, Magic does have a lot of mechanics and everything. And one thing KJ didn't mention was how how does the mechanic work? You got to know how the mechanic works in order to play the card.
Right. Which I was kind of explaining how Magic makes it hard to understand how.
Oh yeah, it does. It does.
Because there's three things you got to think about when you're playing games like this. From Magic, Locale, Lorcana, and stuff like that. Lorcana is a little more simpler, but even with One Piece, you got how's the card played, right? What's the rules of the card play? Like how, where, when the card is played. Like you know, if you have a card that's instant that can be played during any turn, any time in a game, doesn't mean you want to play it on your opponent's turn all the time. Sometimes I play instants on my own turn.
Yep.
You know?
That's another thing too. It's a strategy game. You got to know when the best time it is to play a certain card.
Right. That's why I bring up land destruction, removal, board wipes. It's important in the game because like, to be honest with you, most land destruction, most board wipes, most removal are sorcery speed. Now, there's a handful of instant speed removal out there, but there's not a handful of instant speed land destruction.
Correct.
You know, there's a couple. You know, but like learning, like you can't learn for the meta and Commander as much as you can in Standard. Standard, you got a smaller card pool, and you can understand the meta by the top ranking decks. The top ranking decks is what you're facing against, so you're either going to build a deck for it, against it, or the same. In Commander, you got to assume everybody's different and going to be playing anything from lands, enchantments, artifacts, everything, right? All these different card types. So you want to build removal for these decks, and you got to prepare for these decks because you don't know if that artifact they're going to play is going to be game ruining. Like, you remember we were playing a game not too long ago where a guy was playing Aetherflux Reservoir, and he was able to blast people out of the game. He blasted me out of the game before I could destroy his stuff.
Wow.
You were there?
Yep.
You know? You guys just laughed off. The tortoise is dead. And and the reason why I got targeted is because I had the answers.
Yep.
You know? Like, if you had the answers, he could have done that twice. But you didn't have the answer.
Right.
And see, when everybody has a balanced game where they have removal for about anything, or removal for like artifacts and stuff like that, removal for enchantments. The artifacts and enchantments are the hardest removal spells out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is ironic because artifacts and enchantment removals are usually common and uncommon. Cheap 25-cent cards you can get. There's plenty of them out there. No one likes to run them. Just like a lot of land destruction cards, they're slower, are 25 cents for the most part. Not all of them. Some of them are expensive, like Wasteland and whatnot. But there's so much important removal you should be running in your deck that are cheap as nuggets, but people don't want to play them because one thing's for a fact: as much as the game is fun, the game is about winning.
Yep.
Well, I think when it comes down to TCG, particularly as opposed to any other card game, is TCGs are very much pay to win games. They are your biggest pay to win gotcha games in physical form, and when you are behind a pay to win paywall, right. A lot of people feel that they need those expensive cards, but half the time, based off of what I've been told by people like Captain Waffles and a few other people, if you know how to play your game, you can take jank cards that you can get it for the cheap and still win a game if you know how to play. So as long as you're not worried about somebody just going, okay, I'm gonna pull out these cards that'll clear your board because they spent top dollar at their LGS for these things, or even you got these people who are paying top dollar for cards just to have their expensive decks. Now, to me, when I'm looking at it and I'm like, you're gonna pull out your most expensive cards to play a game and put your finger greases on, and not having just your like private collection of like valuables.
Right. Oh no, you're right. Look, what I've seen both ends of that, right? I've played cheap cards against expensive cards, and I've played expensive cards against cheap cards, right? So like most enchantment removal, you probably find like for 35 cents, 40 cents, 50 cents maybe to destroy enchantments, and some of those cards destroy all enchantments, which is a pretty big deal because there are some pretty powerful enchantments out there, like just individual enchantments out there, right? And a 25-cent card can get rid of like a $12 card, or a 12-cent card can get rid of a $15 Aetherflux. Boom. That's really how you look at it. People like these expensive cards. They buy these expensive cards. They'll do that pay to win strategy where they just build their deck full of these expensive cards and not expect someone to play a 50-cent card that can ruin their whole day.
Scoob, where you're at playing local TCG, do you have that? You haven't run into that yet because the game's still in a fledgling indie phase. I'm assuming, but are you running?
The big reason why we don't really have that problem is because 99.9% of gameplay is done on TTS or our brand new client, so everybody has access to the same things.
Right.
Now, even though we do have access to that stuff, even if we were playing IRL with, like y'all said, the $12 cards compared to the 25-cent cards, to me, it all comes down to the luck of the draw.
Oh yeah, luck of the draw.
100% every time, because I can tell you, I've done drafts because we just started our new draft simulator, so I've been doing a lot of that. I get the worst decks possible, and somehow they be like a shining star for me. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, limited games, limited that format of drafting is one of those things where the lower power cards you normally wouldn't play with shine the most.
Oh, 100%. The ones that I've never touched, I've actually started using a lot more now.
Nice. TG Dude says it's not fun to lose. Playing hundreds of dollars to sit at a table and hear adults complain about mechanics does not sound fun. That's why I stick with 1v1 formats. You lose, move on to the next game. In fact, not this game store in my head, but one of our game stores in our area is hosting a CEDH tournament 1v1 on August 2nd.
Nice.
Yeah. He says, and usually under 30 minutes per game. Well, yeah, that can happen. Like, look, if like to me, who's a seasoned player, who's played for all these years, played different levels of Magic, played different styles of Magic, and different players of Magic. I played against competitive players. I've played against super casual players. I played against mid-range players. It's not about losing to me. It's like the funnest games for me, win or lose, is my deck performs. Like Scuba Tube said, it's luck of the draw. Like card games is about negating and mitigating the luck of the draw by adding more ways to get cards. That's why Magic tutors are expensive, because you can tutor for the card you want, the tutor card you need, or you can draw more cards, get more card advantage, so you can draw into the cards you want and need faster.
Yep.
I do got to say one thing though, and it may just be from my experience when it comes to deck building, but I feel like you got to build differently when it comes 1v1 versus like a more than one person you're going against. I feel like you got to build your decks a little bit differently for that. You
do. I have a deck that so far has a winning streak 1v1, but doesn't have a winning streak 4v4. That'd be my Rafik to the mini deck. Like usually I can build a creature up to be game ending for a player, but once I even get to there, there's usually an answer for there. But 1v1, I'm usually ahead of the game. So there's a difference.
Yep.
And most people in Commander play 4v4. Most people they're trying to do 1v1, they're trying to do 6v6, And for those who don't know, 4v4 means 4 players against 4 players. It means everybody against everybody in a 4-player pod.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
It's like I've played Magic for for me. I've played it quite a long time, but I'm so used to playing 1v1. I'm still learning how to build for a 4-player pod.
Oh, come on. I've played against your decks. You don't seem to have issues playing those degenerate, nasty spells that need to be answered to that we talked about. Like the other day, I was talking about land destruction on that video, and he comes in the comments being like, what do you think about this card? Oh, this card says whenever a player taps land, destroy it. I'm like, that's a salty card. I'm like, it's annoying, but it's legal.
I'm so used. I play with my brother when I don't play in a pod, and we are both super competitive, and that's how those decks turn like that. So that's why when I go to play with you guys, I have no clue if they're going to do good or not, because I play with him. Sometimes they do good, and sometimes they just fall face first into the ground.
Sometimes, yeah, and yes, they're like depending on the player marker and how many players are in a game, your deck will perform certain ways. But a super aggro CDH deck will usually do good in a 4-player pod. See, hold on. Right, says TCG Dude, but the thing is, Magic costs money. That means it costs time. Every TCG costs money and costs time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's why it's a hobby. You're spending time enjoying yourself as a secondary activity that you do.
Right.
I refuse to spend my time to purchase a bad time.
Right. I see where you're getting at now. Because I was about to say, well, we all have time on our hands. Whether or not how we use it's different. Now that you clarified bad time versus good time, nobody, as you said earlier, nobody likes to lose.
Mm.
As I like to tell people who are new into a game, it's not about winning or losing when you're new, because you're going to lose. You're going to suck it up. As I said the other day in a very hot topic that I said, you are going to fail. That doesn't make you a failure, but you are going to fail once or twice, and which means you're going to have a loss here and there. And those losses are going to make your next gameplay better because, okay, I shouldn't play that card against this card. I shouldn't do this. It's like playing a game of war, when you're somebody places down that jack and you're not going to want to place down an 8 or anything lower than a queen or, it's not going to win. So you learn for your next time around when you're placing down your cards. Now, especially the way a lot of games are going where there's no instructional. Like I last night I was playing Arc Ascended with a few of my friends. Scoob was there, and I rage quit the game because there was no first time player walkthrough. They throw you into the game and here's the wolves. Learn how to play. We're not going to tell you which buttons to push on your keyboard to make something happen. We're not going to tell you what the mechanics are. You just have to just go and die over and over again until you figured it out. And there is a certain aspect of what makes a good time and a bad time when you're just getting into a game, let alone when you're already an advanced player in the game. You don't want to just sit there and be bored. You don't want to sit there and get your pardon my French, but your ass wiped every single time. And it can be not fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Thanks for clarifying. I went 0-4 at a draft yesterday. My picked cards were mid, but my shuffles were atrocious. I'm sorry. That's right. Even though I lost repeatedly, the overall experience was okay, right? And that's what the experience part is what you want, right? Right? You want a good experience, win or lose. You don't want a bad experience, win or lose. You want a good experience. And like I said, most fun games I have, win or lose, are the games where my deck just actually does stuff. Even if I lose, I like to feel like my deck was productive. And trust me, I've had games where my deck just gave me lands and did nothing for a while. Then I got my butt beat because I had enough lands to play something huge, and nobody knew what I had in my hand. Probably like a 2-drop. That was very, very not supportive of the board state, and they'll attack me because hillbilly. That's hillbilly.
Who, me?
No, but it's all right. Like there are times we do some fun things. Like there's the times where I've got hit for 1,000 points of damage. There's been
wonder who did that.
there's been times where hillbilly got hit for 80 points of damage.
Yep.
And the one thing I think we'll work on with our games most of the time is teaching people about board states and whatnot, teaching people about what's going on. We communicate the table, the threat, whatnot. Because like the last game I had, no one realized I was a threat, and I wasn't really the threat at all. I just got into a locked loop that let me take over the game immediately. Like I had nothing on the board state that said I was a threat, but once I played my combo out, I was able to take infinite turns.
Yeah, I seen that. I was like, dang, it's over.
And instead of dragging people through the mud and saying, I want to take every turn until I win the game, which would have been shortly, I explained the combo. I explained how I can get around the glacial chasm land. And I'm like, I can win this game. It'll take me a few turns. I says, we could either just call it good now, or you can have me walk through this, and I'll play every turn if you want. And they're like, we can call it good. And I'm like, because even though taking infinite turns can be unfun, I rather give people the option and let them know how I can I'll let them know how I can handle the situation. Like if they can't handle my board state and I got control of the situation, I want to let them know how I can win. And I'd be like, here's how I'm going to win. They're like, do you have a win rate? I'm like, yes, I got this big infect creature in my deck. I got this big token generator in my deck. So there's a couple ways I can win. And their big questions. You got the ability to answer this particular land. And I'm like, yes, I do. And they're like, okay, we'll call it a game. Because I don't want to drag them through a whole mud of waiting like 30 minutes just me playing Magic.
Right.
So when it comes to play experience, it's about the players in your pod and your group and how they treat the situation. Like I literally one time had a friend who had an infinite turn deck worse than mine, because my deck just likes to go infinite when it can. His deck was purposely to go infinite, and he would take his sweet time on every deck. He wouldn't quit the game. He wouldn't stop the game. He'd be like, I want to play Magic by myself. I'm like, you really are a son of a gun.
Wow.
And like one thing I've been lacking on, like the last game I played, I got lucky. It finally showed up, a couple counter spells in my hand. Most games I don't see them. So when I talked about preparing for the meta, in any game, preparing for the meta, it's about having the right removal spells. That's what won me the game. And in my deck, most of my removals counter spells. It's probably the bluest deck I play. And I'm not really a blue player. I'm more of a Simic player, a green player. Simic's blue-green, but I usually don't play a lot of counter spells. But in this particular deck, I put counter spells in the deck, because that's how blue likes to remove. And I don't have extra copies. Like one card I've been having a struggle to put in my deck was Aetherize. And Aetherize is the card I've been struggling to put in my deck, but I do have
such a great card.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I'm thinking of crazy, my friends. We haven't even talked about the card of the day.
Still right.
All right, so let's get to that.
Card of the day.
Woo.
Ooh.
Here's a card I'm excited to talk about. It's an expensive card. It costs 5, 6, 7 mana. I wish it cost 4, but it's a 7/7. Leviathan in space. So whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw that many cards. So if you attack with a 3/3 and it goes unblocked, you're drawing 3 cards. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, at least you can play this for 4. You get it for a turn.
And cast it later. And
Yep.
look, this is one of those cards. Like if KJ notices, this is a warp, pay 2 blue. So 4 total.
Mm-hmm.
Notice it doesn't have the text on it. It doesn't explain what warp is.
Exactly.
They want to give you these fancy cards, but these fancy cards just take away the rules text. Like I love this.
That's very hard on new players. Let's say you're a new player and you got your deck, whether or not it's been given to you, you bought a pre-con, or you built your deck in a deck building group, and you're like, okay, I like this, but I don't know how I'd even be able to play it. Well, it says right there, but how do you play it? That's exactly what goes on in my mind. It doesn't tell me how the card is played.
Right? Yeah. And let me give you another example in a quick second, because like I'll show you what I mean.
I mean, warp is a new mechanic. And sometimes it even makes a seasoned player hard to figure out what warp is.
Right. So here's the original card, the
Mhm.
non-special treated card. Starwinder. In fact, I kind of like the artwork on this card a little bit better. If they just full arted this, I'd have been sick. See, it has warp, the mechanic, and it has the reminder text on the basic card. It lets you know. And as you can tell, there's a handful of text there to remember. So if you're new to this game or new to the mechanic and you don't know what warp does exactly, you're probably going to have to Google on your phone, waste a couple minutes to figure out the text.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yes, Starwinder is the card of the day because I like it. I love it. I don't know what to put it in, but maybe put it in my play deck.
It's a great card.
Mm-hmm. Great card. I wish it was a giant space turtle instead. That'd be cool. All right. But anyways, as long as we got to the card of the day. Well, every time you lose, you learn something, whether about the game, card, or the way the deck works, etc. Just very demoralizing if you have a night of a lot of losses. No wins. That's right. Like, trust me, I learned that the hard way from the opposite end. I used to be the winner.
Yep.
I used to win a lot, right? And I used to win constantly against like my family. And I lost them in the Magic because I was just too good of a player. And instead of thinking, well, maybe I should play at a different level, maybe I should play differently, you know, I got too competitive and got them out of the game because they didn't want to compete. You know, they didn't want to be in that competitive mode. They were more casual. They were learning. Here I am with years of now 20 plus years of knowing the game. They had like 2 years of knowing the game, maybe. Yeah.
Yep.
So any final thoughts people want to add about deck construction in this chat? Going from Sonic Chew, Lone Wolf, Cowboy Dan, Hillbilly?
No, I think we covered everything. That's where I acknowledge, I believe.
Sonic Chew Scoob is quiet.
Pay attention to combos if there are any that are applicable. Because sometimes there's you'll start playing and you'll think, oh man, I forgot this one card which would really help this combo out.
Yep.
So always remember your combos.
That's right. Remember your combos. Deck memory is a thing. The better you know your deck, the more you can anticipate your plays.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you become a better deck builder. And I don't mean that derogatorily. The better you become building a decks, the more you control your deck, your top decks, the more you can control your game. The deck memory you have lets you remind you. Like, there's been times I've been sitting at a table, I'd be like, oh, I need this card to get rid of this thing. And I'm like, well, I can either draw the card or draw something that gets me the card, or I can draw something like it to mitigate something, or I can coax someone to use their spell, you know?
Right.
So,
The one thing I'll add is don't underestimate the undervalued cards. There are some cards that a lot of people that they don't play or they don't know what the card is, and that card could actually end up winning a person a game.
That's right.
Yep.
And with that in mind, there's a lot of cards out there that are powerful that are older that people just forget, like Acid Rain. good card. Other cards like that. They're just cheap because no one's thinking about them. But you can do the research and look at these cards.
Yep. And there's also cards that just people never heard of out there. Still.
That's true.
I want to remind all the veteran players, though, that when you're dealing with a noob, Try to take them under your wing in a form that you're not going to get too agitated, because you're going to get the what, whys, and hows from a new person, especially since Magic tends to recently give you less and less information about the card, and it's like the one that you showed us, the new version of the card and the old version of the card, where it said what the card was and what it did, but the new version did not exactly do that. And a lot of new people are not going to know how to play that. And I noticed in the community, a lot of older players don't like explaining the cards to people. First of all, a lot of players, they also believe that I'm not going to tell you how to win. And that is then don't play against a new player if that's the case. If you don't want to deal with that, don't play against new people.
So one thing I want to add on top of that, because Sanchez Scoob brought up reading the card explains the card. Do not feel rushed on your turns, and give yourself time to read the cards, to understand the cards. Because sometimes you can read one card, but you need to read a second card to understand they work together, or you need to be able to read the board state to understand how the card you have in your hand works with what's going on. So be patient with newer players. Be patient with older players too. Be patient all around. Read the cards, because the more you read the cards, understand the board state, go for it. Have fun. Do not make a impulsive decision. Make a best educated decision when it comes to these plays. And best way to educate yourself is to read the cards, read the board state.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're hillbilly and you just play whatever. I'm kidding. But with that,
sometimes I do that.
Right. All right, my friends, it is time to get to that part of the day where we go.
Hit that subscribe button. Become a part of the creep.
Too much to take. Show is lit. MTG 3, are you game? Rise, creep, rise, building a following as we gain. Spitting fire like a dragon, no one can bring us down. MTG 3 in the house, we own this town. Ripping through the beats with a fury.
All right. Hello, everybody. We're at the shill section, the thrill section. Really quick, TG2 says, in recent months, I played against teenage boys at LGS. A few were sharp, but most learning made it for a good teaching moment. Fulfilling my mission, teach you dudes, keep it the flame lit. That's right.
Cool.
Congratulations on keeping the flame lit. All right. Sonic Chiscoob, have you posted anything in chat recently?
I have not posted anything in chat.
Are you a moderator of the channel yet?
I don't believe so.
Is there a way you can type in chat?
Yeah. Give me one second.
Go to the YouTube side. It's and type in chat there.
Yeah, because I'll need a way to let you post your link to your channels.
Well, somebody done posted his link right there. kjcowboydan.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's blow you up, Scoop Tube. And as you're searching everything, why don't you talk to people about your channel and let them know where they can find you?
Y'all can find me just as Scuba Chew. I don't really do too much. I just play locale and do Suno sessions, random gameplay here and there. I do have a new show starting this Tuesday with kjcowboydan, the new Two Head One Mic podcast. That'll be a lot of fun as we try to cancel ourselves. And then other than that, not a whole lot coming from your dog. Just living the life.
Don't forget about your new instructional video that was recently featured on a particular game.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that. So yeah, I have I have the tutorial on how to use the brand new locale client up on the official locale YouTube channel.
Nice.
Tuffy sought me out. He liked what I was doing. He asked if I could throw something together, and he ended up liking it. So he put it out there.
Nice.
Cool.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Congratulations on that. That's pretty good.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Now let's roll over to Lone Wolf.
Lone Wolf.
All right. Well, I don't got much to say, but now just support everybody in the community from Hellwheeler. Now we got to add Scuba Chew to the list. Add Hillbilly, kjcowboydan, and let's get Tortoise over 1,000.
Yeah, let's get over 1,000. Yeah. Now, thank you for that, Chill. And now we're going to kjcowboydan.
Hey, howdy, hey, boys and girls. KJ Cowboy Dan here, and I'm just saying, why don't you be good heads? Now, for those people who just heard what Scuba Chew had to say, yes, on Tuesday will be the new Two Heads, One Mic podcast demo issue, and join us for that because we have potentially our very first show may absolutely get us canceled. What was the one thing that got you in the most trouble? Also, don't forget, as we mentioned earlier, Tortoise and I are going to be doing a little Suno session where we're going to be tightening up some music, making some music. And so join us for that, roughly about between 3 and 4, I think 3:30-ish. So watch for that. Watch for us to go live. Also, Wednesday on Procrastinating Across the Ocean with Miss Jessie Hellwheeler and myself, we have Scuba Chew and we have Art by Bendy coming on, and we're going to be talking about art, particularly in content creation. We're going to be talking about how it is still art to a certain degree if you're using AI, and how it is potentially kind of hard to get your art out there. And we're going to show you some of Art by Bendy's art. It's going to be great. It's going to be good fun. And we're going to learn a little. We're going to see some fun stuff. We're going to talk about our favorite thing to do, and that's put paper to pencil and put prompts to an image.
Nice. Sounds fun. Check it out. Check it out. Now we're going to skip Hillbilly. No, I'm kidding. We're not going to skip him today.
Hey, everybody. Do you like space? Well, Wednesday, I will be doing Edge of Eternities at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time, right after the Super Fast Tortoise show. I'll be playing with the early access streamer. And I'll be doing this on Wednesday. Yeah. Be playing for probably about 15 hours or so.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll be doing that. But as far as today, I will be doing some arena content today.
All right.
This afternoon at 2 o'clock. Other than that, that's all I got to show.
All right. Well, I don't know if you noticed this on this little arena thing. I put the date time as a star date to reference Star Trek.
Oh, yeah. I got that. I love it.
But all right, let's get over to Super Fast Tortoise. Oh, look, it's me. Oh, no. What? I'm kidding. Anyways, welcome to Super Fast Tortoise. Here we are at the end of the show. And I'll remind you tonight that KJ and I, around 3:30-ish, will be going live on the Suno Sesh. And we're going to create and tighten some music, like he said. But after that, around 7 o'clock tonight, we're going to play some Spider-Man Miles Morales. Yeah, we're going to play some of that tonight, too. We're going to get a load of that and have fun with that. And if you haven't, check my MTG3 video out. Yes. The Last Land Destruction deck. I want your opinions and thoughts on the video. If you can, put them in the comment box down there with that. But with that in mind, my friends, I'll remind you that you're awesome and amazing, but I want to also remind you that you're loved. Someone's thinking about you, and if you can, say and or do something positive for someone else today, you might be the change they need to experience, and have fun with today. And with that, my friends, thank you, channel members, for what you do. Thank you, subscribers, for growing the channel. You guys rock. You guys rule. Let's hit that sweet, sweet outro.
Start the morning with coffee in your cup. Time to hang out with friends and chat it up. Bring a smile and good luck. Hit that like button and let's chat it up. Good times start with us, you and me. Good morning, welcome to the morning coffee show. Let's talk from in the shell and share good vibes and good times. Friends and friends that bend the senses. Let's get a bit senseless. Welcome to the morning coffee show, where we bring good vibes and good times. Welcome to the morning coffee show,